Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of our festival co-directors, advisors, partners, donors, supporters, and all my colleagues at Teamwork Arts, we welcome you to the 5th edition of JLF Houston. To begin the evening, may I please invite Managing Director Teamwork Arts, Sanjoy Roy, to give his opening remarks.
Thank you, Suraj, and welcome, everybody. We're really glad to be back here in person in Houston. The last 2 years has been very difficult, but it's been very difficult for everybody across the world. Zoom changed the world and the way that we looked at each other. It changed the way that we exchanged energies. It changed the way that we exchanged pleasantries. It changed the way that we existed as human beings. But what it did to us at JLF is that it expanded our universe. Pretty much on the 23rd of March, when India went into lockdown, many of us and our colleagues were in different parts of the world. We came screeching back just in time, even as airports were shutting down. And on the 4th of April, we went live with JLF's Brave New World. At that point, the idea was really, how can we continue to allow for the free flow of knowledge and information? And how can we ensure that any research or any discovery around the pandemic gets shared equally across the world? JLF's Brave New World, when it started, we had no idea who was watching it, where people were watching from. We were transmitting from our home 6 episodes a week. But after the first 1.5 months, we realized that over 1 million views, 1 million people had watched it from across the world. In 2021, when we went live with the Jaipur Literature Festival, we had 27 million people who viewed the episode. Even as we speak today, we've got more people watching us live out there. And these are people not from where we traditionally used to have people from. Internationally, our audiences have always been first from the United States and second from the United Kingdoms, followed by the other Commonwealth countries of Canada and Australia and South Africa. But today, it's 1 and 2 is still the United States and the United Kingdoms. But 3 and 4 switch between Germany and China. 5 is Indonesia. 6 is Uzbekistan. Don't ask me why, I have no idea why. 9 is Saudi Arabia, 10 is Japan. These are places that we've never spent €1 or $1 marketing into. We've never thought of these people as audiences, but they are there. In India, too, our audiences have changed completely. From earlier, which was primarily the big cities, Delhi and Gurgaon, Bombay, etc., today our audiences are from the smaller towns, from the smaller spaces, which are hungry for access to knowledge and some of the greatest writers and speakers and ideators. Our world is at risk. We only have one Earth, and even as Elon Musk takes people out into space, we know that we can't exist there. But what do we need to do? We need to work together to preserve the only planet, the only world that we know. And even as we realize that we will die, there are the next generations, our grandchildren and their grandchildren, who will continue to inhabit this place. Even as we speak, fires rage in California because of the heat. Pakistan, 2/3 of Pakistan is underwater, whereas they only contribute 1% to global emissions. This can't continue. And what we have to do collectively. We have to work to find equitable solutions. Solutions that not just you and me and everybody in this room who has access to opportunity and resources can have access to this new world order. We have to look to everybody who, without this kind of equity and empathy, is going to find it very difficult to find food, to find place, to find a home, to find a way of sustaining their world, their living, their livelihoods, and at the end of the day, their children. It can only be done if we continue to share knowledge and information and do it in a way that's democratic and allows for equal opportunity and access. And that's the reason we take JLF across the world as well as our many 33 odd festivals. And we hope that even as we do this in a small way, other people will take inspiration from hearing speakers speak, hearing people come together, and creating their own opportunities and platforms. What we believe has been our greatest strength of the Jaipur Literature Festival and JLF and teamwork is not what we achieve in Jaipur or in our many iterations, but in the 300 odd festivals that have taken inspiration from what we've done, and they've created their own platforms in different parts of the world, all the way from the Bay Area Book Festival in Berkeley to Australia. And we hope that each of these platforms allows for different points of view. You may not agree, or you may agree to disagree, but I think what's important today is allow for different perspectives to stand together, to stand by side. There's not only one truth, and that's what the arts and literature teaches us, that there can be many truths and they can coexist, and that we don't have to necessarily propagate only hatred and violence and want our way of being. We have to come together in many more ways. It cannot be anymore my way or the highway. Divisiveness, not just in the United States, but across the world, has taken a huge toll, and it needs to be addressed. And literature and the arts does that. We hope that over these next 2 days here in Houston, you all will come out and participate and listen and debate and dialogue, and perhaps go away with a new idea, with a new thought, with a new way of being, and inspire other people to perhaps pick up a book and read a different perspective. To all our writers, thank you for coming. I know it's not easy to travel anymore. Flights are difficult. There's always the challenge of the pandemic. But thank you all for making time to be here with us. To our wonderful supporters and audiences here in Houston, thank you so much. To Hari Agarwal, to Durga and Sushila Agarwal, we really owe you a huge debt for being so supportive and having us here in Houston. To our colleagues at Asia Society, thank you so much, Stephanie, Michael, and all of you who make us so welcome. And on behalf of all of us at Teamwork Arts, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the 5th JLF Houston edition. We look forward to having many more editions here in Houston. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sanjoy. Our festival co-directors Namita and William Dalrymple couldn't join today, but they have sent a video message, and that will play for you.
Dear friends, lovers of literature, it's a joy to have JLF return after some pandemic hiccups to the iconic Asia Society in Houston. Sadly, I'm not there in person, but with you all the way from my virtual vantage point in New Delhi. Over the last 5 years, this cosmopolitan celebration of books and ideas, of diverse stories and multicultural narratives, of intense poetry and evocative music, has been replete with inspirations and transformative conversations. Our 2022 edition resonates with the unique spirit of Houston and of our mother festival at Jaipur. We cover a wide variety of themes and subjects, from the magic of mathematics with Manil Suri to the tipping edge of geopolitics, from the wounds of history and the processes of restorative justice with Guru Prakash Paswan to points of departure in immigrant and diaspora fiction with Nahid, Feroz Patel and Sonal Kohli, and points of view in archival photography with Gayatri Sinha and Stephen Evans. We present an entire range of engaging and thought-provoking sessions. Reba Shom takes us on a melodic journey through Swami Vivekananda's life and legacy, and tells us of his disciple Margaret Noble, also known as Sister Nivedita. Chitra Divakaruni Banerjee explores fiction, the intangibles of memory, and the texture of a writer's life. We search the inner aesthetics of the poetic imagination with Roberto Tejeda and Arundhati Subramanian. We look at the repercussions of climate change and the misuse of water around the world with Varsha Bajaj and Andrea Wyatt. We also take you on an exciting culinary tour across the spices of India with Anita Jaisinghani. Across languages, across continents, our stories gift us our dreams. There is so much to share and discover through the charged and vibrant weekend. We are each other's stories. Thank you.
Hello, my name is William Dalrymple, and I am one of the co-directors and co-founders of the Jaipur Literature Festival. The pandemic has been a hard time for everyone. Performing arts, it has been an existential struggle for survival. Like musicians and theatre artists, literary festivals have faced major challenges to their survival. At Jaipur, we were quick to embrace the new Zoom technology, and our Brave New World series achieved millions of downloads. But no one would ever swap an hour on Zoom for the joy of a full-on, in-person, face-to-face literary festival. Now we're back and are thrilled to bring our beloved festival back to the United States. Jaipur Literature Festival is a unique celebration of writing that has grown to something bigger and more wonderful than anything we could have hoped for when we first conceived of this festival more than a decade ago. We are as surprised as we are proud of this. This fall, we present in Houston, New York, and Boulder a series of pocket-sized Jaipurs, bringing the color and energy of the festival from the Aravallis to the bayous of Houston, the skyscrapers of New York, and the Rockies of Colorado. We can't wait to once again share with the United States a little taster of the energy and colorful literary brilliance that has made Jaipur the most happening literary festival in the world.
Thank you, Namita Gokhale and William Dalrymple. Technology has brought us even closer in the last couple of years, and we have discovered means that we had never before. We are so glad that our incredible festival co-directors were able to join us virtually today. What a joy to be back in this beautiful space after a hiatus of 3 years. Every corner of this has a memory that we truly embrace, and new memories we'll make over the course of this edition and the editions to come. Supporting, endorsing, and motivating us for the last 5 years of JLF Houston, we convey our immense gratitude to the Asia Society Texas Center and Imprint. May I now invite Michael Bunin, Director of Performing Arts and Culture, Asia Society, to say a few words.
Thank you, Suraj, and thank you everyone for coming out today. Good evening, my name is Michael Bunin, and I am the Director of Performing Arts and Culture here at Asia Society Texas. We are thrilled to finally be back here in person for JLF 2022. The power of music, literature, and free expression to challenge, provoke, connect, and enlighten are as vital and important as ever, especially when we are able to forge connections, these connections like we have here today with this partnership between Jaipur and Houston. This work is especially important to Asia Society, where our mission is to build multicultural bridges of understanding between Asia and the West. At Asia Society, we believe in the strength and beauty of diverse perspectives. We trust in the power of art, dialogue, and ideas to combat bias, and we remain dedicated to welcoming all. We are so happy to have Jaipur Literary Festival, JLF Houston, back here this year, and to be working with our colleagues again here at Imprint and Teamwork Arts, and our sponsors tonight with University of Houston. So thank you so much again, and thank you, Suraj.
Take the center stage. We have got something for you, Michael. Thank you, Michael, for being a wonderful, wonderful venue partner and such a brilliant colleague. It's been an honor for us at JLF Houston to have partnered with the premier literary arts organization, Imprint, since the festival's inception. It's their unstinted support that has encouraged us to keep going and curating unique and exciting lineup each year. I now may please invite Rich Levy, Executive Director of Imprint, for his remarks.
Thank you, Suraj. What a pleasure to see everybody, especially our friends from India. It's been a while, and we're kind of tired of Zooming with them. So this has been a delight to see Sanjoy and Suraj and Kritika and everyone. And meeting Neha. Hello. I'm executive director of Imprint. We're Houston's leading literary arts organization. Excuse me. And for this 5th edition of JLF Houston, it is kind of incredible to be back in person. We are thrilled to be part once again of this expansion of our corner of the global village. In helping to put together the program for JLF Houston, we are as always happy and honored to work with the wonderful folks at Teamwork Arts and our friends at Asia Society Texas Center, Stephanie, Michael, Sanjoy, Suresh, Namita, William. And we're grateful too to the support of all sorts of people who make this possible. The Consul General of India, we appreciate his support, and our underwriters. Thank you for making it all possible. In case you don't know who Imprint is, we are dedicated to inspiring readers and writers of all ages and backgrounds. We conduct readings for children and adults. Margaret Root Brown Reading Series, we're now in our 42nd season. Monday night we'll welcome Erica Sanchez with her new memoir, Crying in the Bathroom. A week after that, Nobel Prize winner, Abdul Razak Gurna will have this season the 2 poet laureates, Joy Harjo outgoing and Ada Limon incoming. It's an exciting year. We're feeling this sort of agony of transition too. So, hopefully people will come out for these events. We also conduct workshops for aspiring writers, and for those trying their hands at creative writing, we provide free community workshops for senior citizens, school teachers, veterans, healthcare providers, the incarcerated at Harris County Jail, and more. It's very important to be able to shape the narrative of your life. We are also awarding fellowships and prizes to some of the world's top emerging authors, altogether serving about 15,000 people a year in and beyond Houston. If you are a reader or writer and want to be connected to kindred spirits, we encourage you to visit our website, imprint.org. And it is great in this edition of JLF Houston to feature some of our favorite Houston authors. I have to brag a little bit. We're really happy that Chitra Divakaruni, internationally renowned novelist, the McDavid Professor of Creative Writing at the University of Houston, will be discussing the writer's life. Also, we're thrilled that Varsha Bajaj will be talking about her new novel, Thirst. It's a New York Times bestseller addressing climate issues and inequity in Mumbai in a way that is relatable for kids. She is a great middle grade author, and she'll be in conversation with beloved Houston author and civic leader Andrea White. So that should be terrific. Poet and scholar Roberto Tejada, Distinguished Professor of Creative Writing and Art History at the University of Houston, will be sharing his remarkable new volume of poetry. And acclaimed novelist and mathematician Manil Suri will be discussing his new book, The Big Bang of Numbers, How to Build the Universe Using Only Math. Very important to figure that one out. With Houston fiction writer and mathematician Taiba Maya Kanwal. And earlier today, Anita Jasingani introduced her wonderful new cookbook, Masala, over lunch with Sanjoy. It's pretty exciting. Tomorrow we'll have Stephen Evans, who directs the renowned Photo Fest International based here in Houston, discussing Indian archival photography. I have to thank my brilliant colleague and fellow JLF Houston Advisory Board member, Krupa Parikh. And most of all, we thank you, our fellow readers and writers who give us all hope, reason, and purpose in this endeavor. It's truly a team effort, and we're grateful you're with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich, Krupa, and our all colleagues at the Imprint for being the rock-solid support of the festival. Thank you so much. University of Houston has been a key supporter since the very beginning, and this year is even more special as they have come on board in an even more significant role. With that, may I now invite Michael Pelletier, former ambassador and executive director of the Institute for Global Engagement at the University of Houston, to say a few words.
When I arrived in Houston and at the University of Houston a year ago, exactly a year ago in fact, I realized immediately how incredibly international both Houston and the university are. And one of the first international opportunities that I discovered right here in Houston was JLF Houston, although online, a wonderful reminder of my many years of working with Teamwork Arts and Sanjoy and his team in India. And I firmly believe that an event such as JLF Houston is absolutely the most natural and logical fit for our efforts through the new institute I'm setting up, the Institute for Global Engagement, an Aspire initiative at the University of Houston, as we seek to educate, engage, and lead in providing global education and engagement to all of our University of Houston students. COVID made us all realize the importance of being able to engage globally from home. And given our student demographics and our commitment to the principles of diversity, equity, inclusivity, and accessibility, we know that we have to find ways right here in Houston to have our Cougs engage with the world. Such engagement is important for many practical reasons. As the world economy is more and more linked at every level, our ongoing stresses about supply chain challenges, which affect every single one of us in so many ways, prove that beyond a doubt. But to me, there's a much deeper importance to global engagement. There are many ways to learn in a global context, studying foreign languages and cultures, working and studying as part of an international and diverse community, participating in learning abroad, attending events like this. One key underlying learning objective is common, understanding that there are different ways of seeing and making sense of the world, that there is more than one way to solve a problem. Linguistically, I've always found this most fascinating, how prepositions don't necessarily mean or imply the same thing in one language as they do in the other. For example, when I was in Madagascar as ambassador, I never did fully comprehend the Malagasy use of prepositions. They rely very strongly on whether an object is at motion or at still, not a difference that we ever made in English or French or Arabic. Or in Wolof in Senegal, where I could never quite get it right whether an object was on this side of the stage or that side of the stage, or where they count in groups of fives, which far surpassed my mathematical skills and proved that I'd made the right choice to do liberal arts and not STEM. But the key takeaway is that my way of understanding the world, my prepositions, if you will, are not the only ones out there, and may be as baffling to others as mine are to them. With that humility and that openness to cross-cultural communications, suddenly the world becomes a much more open and flexible place, and new solutions and new paradigms are suddenly possible. Which brings me back to the logic of the UH-JLF Houston partnership. What I always loved about JLF in India was that it provided an opportunity for truly international gatherings of writers, creators, thinkers, to get together and discuss the latest trends, books, thinking, etc., to compare notes and impressions. And those conversations helped all of us to gain new perspectives and new insights. And my belief is that here with JLF Houston, this will allow us to gain similarly new and international perspectives and insights on today's challenges. And now, thanks to technology, not just in Houston, but streaming across the globe, even in Jakarta and Uzbekistan and all over. This will help us all to understand that there are multiple legitimate ways to frame problems, to solve challenges, and to understand our world. And I know that other partners in this great event, Imprint, the Asia Society Texas Center, are also all about that goal of creating opportunities for cross-cultural conversations and understanding. And that's our goal for every graduate of the University of Houston, an ability to engage successfully with the world and all of its diversity. Thank you so much for letting me, for letting all of us be a part of this great event. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We're really thrilled to have you as a partner, and we look forward to having even a larger partnership next year with the University of Houston. JLF Houston was never possible without the support of our festival advisors, who have the immense knowledge of demographics, cultural interests, and more. And thus, I take this opportunity to thank our esteemed advisors. Durga and Sushila Agarwal. Yeah, absolutely. Hari and Anjali Agarwal. Chitra Banerjee Devakurni, Rich Levy, Krupa Parekh, Shazma and Arshad Martin, Dr. Marie and Vijay Goradia, Shashank and Medha Karve, and Stephanie Todd Wong. Even before the inception of the festival, they have all been kind and patient and guided us to produce JLF Houston. And today, as we celebrate a milestone year, the entire team would like to extend our gratitude and hope that you will continue to support and lead the path for us. Last but never the least, to all the audience, thank you for being here with us today. It is your unstinted support and love and faith in the festival that has kept us going and given us more the reasons to keep coming back to your charming city. With that, may I please invite Michael Bunin to introduce the first session of today.
Hi, hello again. So enough talking, let's get started with JLF Houston in our first session for tonight, which will be Swami Vivekananda, the Modern Monk, a session of music and remembrance with Ray Bassom. Through music and spirituality, author and classical singer and historian Dr. Ray Bassom will take us on a melodic journey through Vivekananda's life and also speak of one of his most cherished disciples, Margaret Noble, known to the world as Sister Nivedita. A chief disciple of the 19th century Indian mystic Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda's path-breaking speech at the world's Parliament of Religions in 1893 introduced Hinduism to America. Ray Bassom was the founder-director of the Rabindranath Tagore Center, ICCR, Calcutta. Her books include Gandhi, Bose, Nehru, and the Making of the Modern Indian Mind, Rabindranath Tagore, the Singer and His Song, and Margot, Sister Nivedita of Vivekananda. Just a quick note, we encourage you to follow us throughout the festival using the social media handles. You can tweet and tag using JLF LitFest and use the hashtags #JLF, #JLF 2022, and #JLF Houston.